I was about 10 years old. My next door neighbor, who was the same age as me, when I moved into the neighborhood, that we were 5. So we already had a 5-year relationship. He had an older brother that loved wrestling. So one night we started watching with him and 2 10-year-old boys. This was amazing. I immediately went home and told my stepdad and my mom about it. We started watching, and next thing I know, every Monday night, we're watching the Monday Night Wars. I have a walkie-talkie, and he has a walkie-talkie, and I'd be watching WWF, and he'd be watching WCW, and we'd tell each other what's happening, and, when there was a commercial break, when to flip over. And this went on for years. So we were about 15, 16 when cell phones started working more with texting, and we'd still be watching WWE now, back and forth about the matches. In 2011, I got married. He was my best man. He stood next to me, and it was one of the greatest days of my life. And about a month after that, while I'm on path to creating a life and working on a career and having a family, he chose a path of rehab and prison. So for the last 10 years, I have not spoken or seen my best friend. And every night I still watch wrestling, and I watch it with my wife, and I thank her very much for sacrificing to do that with me. But there's still times that I reach for my phone to text him like, hey, did you see that? Or that was an amazing match. And when AEW started, I was like, this is what we've been waiting for. And I was so upset to not be able to watch it with him. And I just hope that one day I'll be able to send that call or send that text and be able to watch wrestling with my friend again.
Well, there's a story of 2 tales, and this one really plucked at my heartstrings a little bit. I felt it. I felt he needed an outlet for this story. He needed to just talk about how he misses his friend, how his friend chose a different lifestyle, and that's what this show is for. It is for the fun. It is for the funny. It is also for the real, and I appreciate the realness in that. I'm sorry about that situation. Also, as I've grown older, and I am no expert by any means, but I have surrounded myself by people who are knowledgeable in this, we do realize it's less of a they chose that path and almost circumstances and illness and mentality has driven them that way. So I'm not going to say it's curable. It can be worked on. And if we're able to get through to that person, and then, of course, in jail, rehabilitation is part of that. And like you said, rehab in general. And hopefully it sticks and we can get your friend and you and the community and whoever else can get your friend in that right mindset and help them understand how their brain is working to be on a correct path. And for you, that path is your buddy to watch wrestling, to have that bond. This was an important call, and I appreciate it. And I hope this podcast goes on for so long that one day he will call back and he will tell the story of how he was once a fuck up and turned his life around and now gets to watch wrestling with his buddy again. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.